Hey everybody, Leslie K here, and I am coming to you with something a little bit different today. I would like to share with you my feedback form and tool I use for providing my teachers with on time instructional feedback throughout the course of the year. Many of you already know that I am a first year principal at Thomasville High School here in Thomasville, North Carolina. And this is a tool that I've been using for the past few years that I've shared with several schools in my previous county as well as schools across the state of North Carolina. So I hope that you enjoy. I think this is probably considered a intermediate to advanced video for Google Form users and Google Tool users, but my goal is to give you everything you need if you would like to use this tool with your staff next year. So, with that said, let's jump into exactly what the tool does, what the Google form looks like, and how you can use it with your school. First things first, you're going to need a few things in order to make this successful. So, if you're looking at the screen in front of us, what I did was I created a Gmail which connects to a Google Drive for just my instructional support team. So, all those folks will have that Gmail address that they can use as well as the password to this account so that they could go in and view any of the instructional feedback forms that they wish to see over the course of the year. However, the reason it's important is because when we send our form, because what this tool does is it allows the principal or instructional support team member to go in, observe classes using a Google form on any type of smartphone, tablet, anything that you can access your Google form on. You can go in laptop, you can go in, complete your observation using the Google form. And when you hit submit, what the autoCrat tool add-on does, which I'm going to show you shortly, is it creates a mail merge, takes all the information from your Google form, drops it into a template based on whatever you chose or whatever you saw in that observation, and sends it to the observer as well as the teacher. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that. But like I was saying, the first step that I recommend is creating a Gmail for your instructional team so that when that email goes out, it comes from your instructional team and not from Mrs. Kennard, who created the tool. So that's step one. The other thing you're going to need is a template. And before the template, I want to say you're going to want to know what you want to observe or what's going to matter for instruction, teaching, and learning in your building. So I'm going to share the form that I've used in the past, as well as what that template looks like, because those are things you're going to need up front. You're also going to need the names and emails of your teachers, as well as the email addresses of your observers. And I'll show you all that shortly. So let's jump in. Let's do an overview of documents first. So as you can see, this is the Google Drive, and forgive me if I'm not looking directly at the camera. I'm going to be alternating between sharing with you and looking at my computer screen. So this is my Google Drive for my school instructional support team, and you can see that I've already created some documents in here. The first document that I'll show you the form first. So this is the feedback form, and I'm actually gonna, not now. I'm actually going to show it to you live so that you can see what it looks like. So here's our Thomasville High instructional feedback form. It has the date, the observer. So this will be my email address, assistant principal email address is right there. And you'll see why that's important later on in the mail merge, because it's going to send the email directly to those people too. Teacher names, teacher email addresses. And what I do in order to make this a simple process, I just create an Excel file. I put all the teachers' names in one column, I put all of their addresses in another column, and then I just cut and paste those as I'm working on the form. I told you guys I'm at a high school, so there are my grade levels, what block I might see, all the different subjects, same thing. I just type all of those in, and it's got everything from English, math, social studies, business. We used to have auto shop, all of the classes we offer, and then the things that I want to monitor. So there's things under focus, things under plan, things under teach, evaluate, and our instructional experience. what I spend a lot of time looking for is making sure that we're teaching at the appropriate DOK level. So you'll see all of those levels listed so we can select those while we're observing. Um, and the last and other important thing is our notes section. I think that this is probably where we get the most bang for our buck, because a lot of times when we go through and we just check boxes, sometimes the impact is lost. But the things that we put in the notes section, I think, have the power to change thinking and, most importantly, impact instruction and learning for our students. So that's probably one of the most important pieces for me. Okay, let's go back to the drive. So that was that document. And so I do that on the front end. And so after you've created your form, then you take the information from your form, all the questions you ask, and you're going to create a template for the feedback. So this is what the observer and the teacher will receive. So if you've used Formule before, this gives you a little bit more of a polished feedback output for teachers and observers. So what you'll see here is the feedback template that I created. And what's different is once you create the template, and I will share this with you if you want to use it, tweak it, or make it your own, is the double carrots. And the double carrots are going to signal to autoCrat, the add-on we're going to be using, that this is what goes here from uh, the form data. Okay, so from our form, our date that we entered will go there. You'll see the double carrots, then the time, and then the double carrots. The observer who observes, their name will populate there, as well as any feedback that we gave in the various categories. Okay, so that's the template that you'll need to create on the front end. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the autoCrat tool. And so this is where we make our money. This is what makes everything smooth and effortless, and just a great tool for providing immediate feedback to teachers. So autoCrat is a Google add-on that is attached to the Sheets version of your Google Drive information. So if you're looking for it up here in any of the form add-on menus, you're not going to find it. Even if you searched here, it's not going to be there, because you can only find it under the Sheets add-ons, and you'll see mine there. And so we're going to click on autoCrat, and it's just something that you just download. And I've already tested this out. So I just want you guys to see me go through the steps so you'll know exactly what to do when you get ready to create yours. So it's loading, and we're going to go through several steps together, and you're going to do create a new job. And since I've done it before, we're going to call this feedback 2, because I've already done feedback 1. Now it asks you where you want to choose your template from. Now we created our sample template, and it's in our Google Drive. So I'm going to select that template again so that that's what it will pull the information to use. Selecting that. So once again, you can create your template in Word. You can create it in Google Docs, but make sure you upload it to Google Docs so you can find it on the screen. Step 3. Now, remember I told you we would see the double caret. So what we're going to go through and quickly do is attach those to teacher name, where we wanted to pull the information from. There's our timestamp, subject, observer, and those double carets don't have to be perfect, because as you'll see, this is what standard. It's just that I just used the first. Is the standard evident to students? Instructional practices. Let's see, where's that one? I'm trying to do this quickly. There it is. Relevance. There it is. Questioning. It might be up here. I might have overlooked it. Trying to go too fast. We'll skip that one and come back to it because right now I don't see questioning, but I'm sure it's in there. The next one is instructional tools. There it is. Research based. There it is. Differentiated. There it is. Student participation. There it is. Our cognitive level. Our note section is the instructional lines. There it is. Is there evidence? Okay, classroom routines. There it is. Level of students. Equitable. Method. Assessments. Oops, wrong one. Assessment observe. Components. And now let's go back up to the one we skipped. Group, oh, there's another one. Group format, questioning. So that took a little bit longer than I would have liked, but I wanted you to see all the steps. There it is. That we go through in making sure that this works. Now, this is the file setting. So one of the things that I did that you'll want to do is in your Google Drive, you will want to create a folder for all of your completed documents to go. So whenever any observer goes through and completes an observation, you want to create a folder for saving those observations after they have already been sent to the observer and the teacher. It's just a good way to keep some solid documentation. So we're going to name every document, and we're going to use the double caret system by the date and then the teacher name. Okay. And then I like to save all of my documents as PDFs, and then we're going to click next and go to step 5. So the destination folder is the one I just showed you. 2017 completed feedback forms. We're going to select that. That's where we want them to go. We'll go on to step 6. We don't need step 6. We don't need step 7. So you can hit next. And do we want to share the document? And the answer to that is yes. And we want to share it. Like I said, I like saving mine as PDF. Allow them to reshare, yes. Send from a no reply address, no, because we created our own Gmail account for these to come from. And so we're going to use the double caret system when we say who we're sending it to. So that'll be teacher email. And we're going to CC the observer. And we're going to reply to observer. So what we're doing is we're creating a system for the mail merge to send the email. And the subject, I like to do classroom. Sorry, I can't type it today. Classroom feedback. And then let's just add the date. So we're going to use that double caret system. And then let's also add teacher name. Okay, and then this is where you would put your body of your email. Thank you. We're going to put teacher name there. Let's say it was great to see instruction. This is the part I always struggle with. For now, we'll just say thank you. Please see the feedback attached. Have a great day. And then you can put observer there. So then we'll go to next. Now that we've told it who we want to send it to, what we want to send, and what will be in the body. Run on trigger. So that means whenever we hit the submit button, that's when it will generate a form. We're going to save that as feedback too. And while it's doing that, we'll jump back to this view live form. So if we were going through the live form and let's say I click through all this information, I want to show you what would populate. So the observer would get an email and it would look like this. And it just says that I went in today, you observed me. It was the beginning of my lesson. I was teaching Math 1. This is the observer's email address. And so I always put my name in as an observer and a teacher so that I could test the form before I use it. And this is all the information that I inputted when I went in my notes to say thanks for doing a great job. I know that was a lot, but once again, it is so worth putting in the effort on the front end because it's a tool that you can adapt over the course of the year. So what you guys saw, all of this information is the full-blown form, but it doesn't mean we use the full-blown form with all of the questions throughout the year. We started off last year just focusing on essential questions and not essential questions. We focused on I-CAN statements. And so we provided professional development on I-CAN statements, and then we used our tool to monitor I-CAN statements and whether they were connected to the curriculum, whether they were rigorous, and whether students understood it and what the outcomes were. And then we used the notes section. So that's how we adapted the tool over the course of the year. That's just one example. And so it could be as short or as long as you want it to be, as long as you create your template and your Google form and then use that autoCrat system on top. If you have questions, I am more than happy to answer any questions you might have. You can connect with me at kennardleslie@gmail.com or at lmkennard on Twitter. Check out my blog, lesliekennard.com. And once again, if you enjoy this, please like, comment, and subscribe. I love to hear from you, your success stories, and your questions. So let's stay connected. The world is waiting for your greatness. Be great today.